March 27, 1974, Fort George Island, Florida. Jerry and Antoine Betz, along with their son Terry, are walking in a wooded area near their home when they find something on the ground that looks like it's from another planet. It's a strange metallic sphere, approximately 8 inches in diameter and weighing nearly 22 pounds. As you can see in this local news footage from the time, the shiny artifact has no seams or weld marks. There's nothing to indicate its provenance.
When the Betz family brought this round object home, they realized it began to behave in some unusual ways. They would place it on the table and it would just randomly roll around and not fall off. Or they would place it on the floor and it would follow members of the house around.
As word about this sphere began to spread, scientists conducted a series of tests.
They made a few interesting discoveries. First, the ball could withstand extreme heat. It was made out of a stainless steel alloy, so it was clearly designed to take on a lot of pressure, about 120,000 pounds per square inch. So we're dealing with a heavy industrial piece of metal here.
Could we be looking at something as simple as a massive ball bearing? A peek inside the sphere only deepens the mystery.
Scientists later performed an X-ray of the sphere, and they discovered that inside were actually 2 smaller magnetic spheres that had 4 magnetic poles total. So 2 positives and 2 negatives.
Not long after its discovery, the sphere was examined by a panel of experts, including astronomer J. Allen Hynek, the man who was chief scientific advisor for Project Blue Book, the Air Force's top secret effort to investigate suspected UFOs. Hynek didn't observe anything unusual about the sphere. But an engineer on the panel revealed that its magnetic field is over 1,000 times more powerful than that of any known substance. Could it be some kind of extraterrestrial probe? If that sounds like a far-fetched theory, consider a recent discovery that some believe could be proof of alien tech.
In 2023, Harvard professor Avi Loeb went on an expedition to find and recover 50 or so pieces of these very tiny, round kind of granules of meteorite that came from outer space. Dr. Loeb's belief is that this meteorite is perhaps a probe from an intelligent species that made its way to Earth and crash landed.
According to the Betz family, while examining the sphere, a researcher discovered that it was emitting some sort of radio signal. This led some to theorize that the object could be an alien listening device. To find out if they were right, we turn to our experts. Why did this orb move erratically when the Betz family placed it on a flat surface?
We know that the Betz house was an older house, and most old houses do have some corner that's sunk a little faster than the other and the floors are uneven. That would be a simple explanation of why the Betz's ball rolled across their old floor.
What about the idea that the Betz sphere was either an alien probe or part of a spacecraft?
If it had been part of a spacecraft, you would expect to see some marks on it that it thumped through the atmosphere. And there's no marks on it. There's no burn marks or what's called a fusion crust on meteorites when they come in. We don't see anything like that. Also, you can rule out the idea that it's extraterrestrial because most of the studies that have been done shows that all the materials that make up the ball are found on Earth. But the question is, why would you want to make something this big and out of stainless steel?
There could be one explanation.
We know that tiny ball bearings are in all sorts of machines today, and larger machines need larger ball bearings. So, in terms of human technology, balls made of metal of all sorts of diameters are relatively common in the machine world.
And as for those strange radio signals the sphere was emitting, maybe they weren't so strange.
The idea that it emitted radio signals. That wouldn't surprise me since it's really just a huge hunk of stainless steel. If it had some impurities in that metal, then it might be able to act like an antenna and pick up some minor stuff once in a while. Unfortunately, there's no way to be able to identify and actually look inside and see what's there. Because the ball disappeared,
That's right. For years, the sphere, seen here at a panel of UFO investigators, changed hands between different researchers and institutions. Then, it vanished without a trace.
It's not available for study, which is a big red flag from the scientific point of view. As a person who looks into these kind of phenomena, its non-existence alone makes me suspicious of its origin.
Our verdict? Unexplained. The Betz Sphere might just be an industrial ball bearing. But why the mysterious magnetic charges inside it? And where on earth is this thing? As of now, it's lost to history, leaving us with more questions than answers. In other words, this ball's up in the air.